have to admit, go ahead. You were going to say something?
I just like that when it plays, producer Chris has to get up and do a shot of Gagia.
One in Rome. So I have to point out, I was wrong about something.
Oh.
John was saying that he was asking for super chat money to build a new website. And I'm like, he never does anything he says he's going to do.
Yeah.
He actually did. He did two things he's been talking about forever. He built a new website and launched it, and he sued Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the lawsuit is available on his website. I have in my hand the lawsuit.
I see this, yes.
And I've highlighted some parts that I want to read to everybody.
Okay.
Because I found this to be highly entertaining. I recommend people check it out. So it tries to talk about all of the things that he contributed to the Howard Stern Show. Mr. Melendez, along with other writers on the show, are responsible for some of the show's most famous and classic skits. In this sentence, it admits he never did anything on his own. When he was the one asking questions of celebrities, he didn't write that shit. Not his material. Sorry, Joe, I'm throwing paper around. In summary, SiriusXM exploits Mr. Melendez's own fame and celebrity to drive subscribers and advertising dollars to SiriusXM. This is what he's purporting. Now, keep in mind, this guy can't sell advertising on his own show. He uses a company called CLNS to get his advertising, which there's very little of.
Yeah.
Speedweed is his buddy. There's a guy's house in LA that he's trying to help him sell. And then there's like maybe one other ad. That's from CLNS, who I've told you, it reached out to me and I told him to fuck off because they like Tom Brady.
Yeah, right.
Tom Brady's not even in New England anymore. Maybe I should be friends with those guys now. I don't even know. During his 15 years on the show, Mr. Melendez turned a cult following into a national fan base of millions. No, Howard did that.
Yeah.
Stuttering John didn't turn a cult fan base into a fan base of millions. Howard Stern turned his fan base into millions. When Stuttering John left, the show got better.
Yeah.
It was the best time in that show's history. So then it goes on to talk about all the things that he's done. This is great. It sounds like an episode of his podcast.
Yeah.
It lists all of his accomplishments.
Sure.
So it goes on to talk about what he was able to do after he left Howard Stern, including serving as its regular, he's talking about the Tonight Show, including serving as its regular warm-up act for the studio audience.
Oh, please.
He was the jamoke that goes out and gets the audience warmed up before the show starts. That's one of the worst jobs in show business. Adam Carolla made a movie about that, where he was like the warm-up guy for Jimmy Kimmel and he wanted to kill himself.
Yeah.
It's like, how did I fall this far?
Oh, my God. They're just like, Howard's taking his shit. Go in there and tell everybody, like, go keep him distracted while he finishes in the bathroom.
So what this is trying to prove is that Stuttering John has been building up his name and celebrity since leaving Howard Stern, and SiriusXM is taking full advantage of that. This is preposterous.
Does it say how many baked potatoes he microwaved in there?
No, but wait till I get to the stats about how popular he is. Mr. Melendez's pop culture status is further enhanced by the Stuttering John podcast, which focuses on political, legal, sports, and entertainment topics for a national audience and loyal fan base. First of all, I have a problem with sports. All he ever does is go, I watched my Yankees at the pub yesterday. That's not a sports talk show.
And loyal, you have a bunch of trolls,
dude,
figuring out ways to insert the N-word in here.
No shit. Oh my God. Wait till I play the clips for you later. Guess who's now talking to him in the super chat? Trucker Andy.
Awesome.
Trucker Andy's over there.
Finally made it.
SiriusXM knows of Mr. Melendez's fame and celebrity status. It continuously airs old clips from the Howard Stern Show archives featuring Mr. Melendez
without permission.
Without his permission, to exploit the commercial value of Mr. Melendez's celebrity, attract new subscribers, generate rich advertising dollars, drive up the ratings of the show, and keep Mr. Melendez's fan base listening to the Howard Stern Show.
I disagree with the word rich advertising.
Dude, this is the funniest sentence. I won't read it again, but go ahead and back up 15 seconds. That's the funniest sentence in this entire thing. It doesn't get funnier than that. He's figured out that they're using old bits from him on the show because it's getting them more advertising dollars. It's attracting new subscribers. It's driving up the ratings of the show. Is anyone listening to the Howard Stern archives?
No. People, they're like, oh, I hope there's something fresh on here. Oh, it's just a repeat of like some shit I heard already. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so they sent a cease and desist. In response to Mr. Melendez's lawyer sending a cease and desist letter to SiriusXM, its general counsel marginalized Mr. Melendez's contributions to the Howard Stern Show and attempted to bully him by threatening to take his current show having nothing to do with Howard Stern, the Stuttering John podcast, off its Pandora streaming service. Bully him? You're suing them. Yeah. You're worried about bullying?
They were mean to me.
You're literally suing them. I can't believe you tried to bully me. Fucking idiots. This guy's so stupid.
I wish you would ball up the paper when you're done and throw it right in Joe's face. That would be better.
There's a lot more paper here. We'll have an opportunity. Oh, this is funny. It admits, in his own fucking lawsuit, he admits he had no talent. Mr. Melendez was hired virtually sight unseen once Mr. Stern learned that Mr. Melendez, who has suffered from a speech disorder since childhood, stutters. In short, Mr. Stern thought it would be funny to have Mr. Melendez on air during his radio broadcast to exploit plaintiff's speech impediment for comic effect. Yes! Finally, a truthful statement!
The only reason.
You were hired because you stutter. That's the only reason why anyone knows who the fuck you are, Stuttering John.
And you can't patent that. Thank you.
So now it talks about how successful he was. At its height, Mr. Melendez was part of the staff on a show that enjoyed an incredible 9.5% share in the radio listening market, New York City, the largest market in the U.S. Mr. Melendez made an average salary of approximately $35,000 per year while on the Howard Stern Show. 15 years, his average per year was $35,000, which means he made a lot less than that for a while.
Yeah, right. You had to work up to that.
Why is that in here? How does that help your case? They're like, you didn't see value in yourself. Yeah. Why do you think listeners see value in this?
No.
Why do you think advertisers are buying advertising? Because John Melendez is on the Howard Stern Show? By 1994, the show had 15 million listeners. Oh, this is under a section called Mr. Melendez Becomes Famous. It's a legal document.
It says that in his legal document?
Yes. This is the lawsuit. Mr. Melendez Becomes Famous. By the way, I looked up this lawyer who's representing him.
Yeah.
And the other big case that he had was some kid from a boy band got molested by his manager. And he's got
so every kid from every boy band.
He's got links to like 20 articles about it from his website. He's very proud of that case. All right, so this is where it turns into the Stuttering John podcast. Number 17 under Mr. Melendez Becomes Famous. Mr. Melendez was selected for acting roles in numerous popular movies, including Osmosis Jones, Airheads, Dude, Where's My Car, and Mr. Stern's Private Parts. I'm going to stop right there. Private Parts.
Yeah.
What was his role in that movie? Does anybody remember?
Post-credit, throwaway, pity involvement in the movie.
Yeah.
Bitching that you weren't in the movie.
That was it. He just had a quick thing to be like, I wasn't in the movie. Like, yeah good. It's fine.
I don't remember him being in Osmosis Jones or Dude, Where's My Car?
No. It had to be quick cameos.
Yeah.
He's not like a star.
What was the other one?
Airheads. I don't remember that either. He was probably like a DJ.
You know
or something.
what? I do remember he was on the soundtrack for that. And then like he's just like in the crowd somewhere. Yeah.
That he jerks off constantly.
He appeared on...
Yes, that's right.
What was that?
He has like a cameo where...
He has one line in it.
They're like they're panning to different people in a crowd, and he yells out that he jerks off constantly in the crowd.
Jesus Christ.
I do remember that. I like that movie.
No, I know.
I don't like John.
I know, but that's the thing, though. It's like John's...
He has one line. That's not a role in a movie.
This is under... Mr. Melendez Becomes Famous.
Yeah.
That's not what famous people do. Jim Norton was in the first Spider-Man. He had one line.
Yeah.
I don't like him and he stinks. It didn't make him famous. All right. He appeared on television shows such as Celebrity Fear Factor and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Wings, and Baywatch Nights. So two of those... Baywatch Nights. Two of those are shitty...
He's jerking off in the bushes. Sorry, I'm too.
Joe, you can talk if you want, but get near the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
It's the worst of both worlds if you talk and no one can hear you.
That's my role.
Yeah, I know, I can tell. Mr. Melendez also starred in the long-running off-Broadway show Tony and Tina's Wedding.
Oh, my God.
That's the most embarrassing thing. It's listed in how he's famous.
Isn't that fucking dinner theater?
Yeah, it's like a dinner theater thing.
That almost ended Fred's marriage.
It's literally what you do when you can't get work as an actor.
Right.
And received praise from Rolling Stone magazine for his rock and roll album Stuttering John, produced by Atlantic Records. He was most recently the television host of the CBS's inaugural broadcast of the Pro Football Arm Wrestling Championship. And by the way, if I'm Howard Stern and I'm reading this, and he probably won't talk about it on air. It'd be funny if he did. If I'm reading this, I'm going, John, the reason why you were on Wings and Baywatch Nights and Celebrity Fear Factor, and the reason why Rolling Stone talked about your album, and the reason why any of this exists is because you're on the Howard Stern show and they want me to talk about it. It's all to get a publicity stunt.
Celebrity Fear Factor. He ate a piece of cow shit on TV. That made him famous. I don't know. That's just... And then Rolling Stone praising his album.
Praising his album! Rolling Stone!
The guy that wrote it's just like, I thought he was full on retarded. I didn't know he could play guitar. he gets a little bit of my respect.
Pretty good for a retard.
Rolling Stone's like, Zeppelin 4, not really good. I'd skip this one if I were you. Oh, Stuttering John's got an album out?
He doesn't even stutter when he sings. Praise.
Number 18. As Mr. Melendez continued to gain fame, he became known for some of the most unforgettable on-air moments which remain classics replayed incessantly on channels 100 and 101. Now, I have Sirius XM. I've had it for many, many years. His bits are not played incessantly. I promise you that.
They're not, but it's not because John is like a must listen. It's out of laziness. They're like, just put it on a loop so we can go home. You know, it's going to play 3 times today so that whoever doesn't have to be there to put on something different.
So it's funny because the way this is written, and I've read a lot of contracts and legal documents, this is so poorly written. So it says he continued to gain fame with these bits. That's number 18. Number 19, for example. Wouldn't that be a sub? Okay. Number 19, for example, in 2001, Mr. Melendez got slapped in the face by A.J. Benza, a then-famous gossip columnist, after provoking Mr. Benza about his failed television show. That's why he's famous? In 2002, a series of on-air arguments between Mr. Melendez and Crazy Cabby sparked the idea to host a boxing match between them, dubbed The Flunky versus the Junkie in Atlantic City. Tickets to the event were sold out in minutes. The boxing match was also broadcast live on the Howard Stern Show and later aired on E! These are all Howard Stern's accomplishments, not Stuttering John. The fact that there was a boxing match called The Flunky versus the Junkie, it's a joke. It's a joke match. You're not a boxer. Nobody cares about Stuttering John boxing unless Howard's talking about it.
Right.
And betting on it and talking about it on air.
Yeah. And I'm willing to bet you got paid to do that.
Plaintiff's famous interviews that are now considered Howard Stern classics and brought him to fame with the Dalai Lama, Jennifer Flowers, Ringo Starr, Billy Crystal, Mike Tyson, and ZZ Top. Mr. Melendez also hosted a series of daily radio shows, including Out to Lunch, which were given the coveted time slot following the Howard Stern Show. Now, I remember this time in Howard Stern history. And what happens is, on K-Rock, the Howard Stern Show were a ratings bonanza on that station. And then they dropped off the face of the earth immediately afterwards. This is well documented. That slot, you guys know radio, that slot of 11 to 1 is death.
Right.
No DJ wants that slot. No one's listening to the radio. It's on a drive time.
Everyone's at work.
The only times you want to be on the radio is in the morning and then late afternoon drive time. That's when people listen to the radio. Midday, evenings, overnights, all garbage.
Yeah.
You're not famous for having that time slot. And he even talked about how it would take him 5 minutes to record his entire 2-hour show. He would just go on and go, all right, now we're going to listen to Smashing Pumpkins and their new on Cherub Rock. And then, like, that's all he did.
Right.
He would just record all those little things. He wasn't even there live taking calls.
Oh, my God.
In February of 2004, riding the wave of his growing popularity, Mr. Melendez left the show and became the announcer for and a performer on Jay Leno's The Tonight Show. Now, this is not true. He was not riding a wave of growing popularity. He was floundering.
Yeah.
He was going away. He was riding a wave of obscurity.
Yeah.
And what happened is Jay Leno had a revenge fuck moment.
Right.
Because him and Stern were feuding. And Jay Leno's like, fuck you, I'll just take Stuttering John from you and make him my bit now. And that was the whole point of that.
And then Jay Leno regretted it
Jay
instantly.
Fucking regrets it. In 2009, when Mr. Leno became the host of NBC's The Jay Leno Show, Mr. Melendez followed, and he became a member of that show's writing staff. So think about that. This is in a document explaining how famous he is. This is still under he gets famous. He's a writer on a late night show. Can you name any writers, current writers on late night shows?
You know what?
No, they're not famous.
This whole you guys can't see how many pages this fucking document is.
It
should be one page with one letter on it. E. When it was on E, that's when
Yeah.
people knew who Stuttering John was.
I
Because they
agree.
could watch the E show and be like, oh, I know who that guy is.
Oh, no, that's why this is hilarious, Andy. That's
Yeah.
why I'm reading this.
I know.
That doesn't make any sense. In 2016, Mr. Melendez became an executive producer and on-air contributor to the Stephanie Miller Show, which he famously burned every bridge, and they don't talk to him anymore and don't even talk about that experiment. Apparently, he used to show up late and smelling like BO every day on that show. John won't have me on his show, but I'd love to talk to him about his experience with Stephanie Miller. Mr.
Maybe you can
Melendez...
get Stephanie Miller to talk to you about John.
Oh, that's a good idea. Mr. Melendez made global news in June 2018 when he prank called the White House during his podcast, pretending to be New Jersey Senator Bob Melendez, and had a 4-minute conversation with President Trump, who was aboard Air Force One, primarily about immigration reform and then the U.S. Supreme Court vacancy.
Right.
It was a fucking snooze fest.
Right.
4
And it
minutes felt like 3
nothing to
hours.
do with Howard Stern.
Well, this is about how famous he is. So he's like, I made a prank call once. Okay. So Sirius XM can't play your fucking time that you were on Howard Stern show in 92 because you made a prank call?
And I got a B- playing saxophone, and I passed my student film class.
In October 2018, Mr. Melendez released his memoir, Easy for You to Say. Nobody owns that book. That doesn't make him famous. Mr. Melendez presently boasts an impressive following across social media platforms, YouTube and Facebook, and has over 5 million impressions per month on Twitter alone.
Stop it.
All right, so this is funny.
Oh, my God.
The only stat that this thing is throwing out there about how popular he is the number of impressions his Twitter gets. As you know, digital marketing. Been there, done that, know a few things about impressions. This is not a stat that anybody uses for Twitter. This is not impressive. And there's even like a little, it explains what this is. Impressions refers to the number of total times a post on Twitter or tweet has been seen, which results from activities such as being liked or appearing in a search.
That's pathetic.
It's pathetic that that's how he thinks he's famous because people saw his tweet.
People liked it.
Oh, boy.
I got so many likes.
All
I
right.
saw it.
As part of Howard Stern's move to SiriusXM, Sirius claims to have acquired a license to air current episodes of the show and to air full or partial episodes from the Howard Stern archives that feature Stuttering John. Yes, correct. They acquired the rights to everything you did on the radio. That's how that works. The defendant frequently runs and publicizes Stuttering John's participation on the show, including his now infamous and highly popular interviews of celebrities and politicians, in order to enhance its subscription base, sell ads, and drive listeners to SiriusXM and the Howard-centric channels. First of all, does no one know what the word infamous means? His now infamous and highly popular interviews. Infamous doesn't mean famous.
Right.
It's a negative thing.
It's like
Infamous is
famous
negative.
for being bad.
It's terrible. Demonstrating the value of the Howard Stern Show and the Howard Stern Show archives and include Mr. Melendez to SiriusXM and its own fortunes, the recent public news that Mr. Stern may re-sign with the defendant sent SiriusXM's parent company's stock price soaring. So he's dude, this is an illegal document. He's trying to say that obviously me being on Howard Stern channels is important because when Howard talked about he might stay on the SiriusXM platform, their stock price went up. That's for new episodes of Howard Stern, you moron!
That you're not involved with in any way.
If the announcement was we're going to keep playing the reruns, the stock price ain't going nowhere.
Oh, my God.
It has nothing to do with Stuttering John. SiriusXM promotes and advertises. Is this getting boring? This is a long one. SiriusXM promotes and advertises as Mr. Melendez's appearance on the old shows because of Mr. Melendez's own independent celebrity and fame, both while he was part of Howard Stern and the year since his departure. So he thinks that they're promoting that Stuttering John is on the... I've never heard promotions like, coming up next, Stuttering John Melendez! No. SiriusXM has not obtained Mr. Melendez's consent, yet is deliberately and knowingly engaged in the outrageous and malicious conduct of using his identity, likeness, name, image, and voice for its commercial advantage with willful and conscious disregard of Mr. Melendez's own right of publicity. That's some bullshit, right? As Croce would say, that's some bullshit right there. All right. And then it goes on to explain what this code is that he thinks that they're violating. This is the funniest thing. Number 45. If you're following along at home, like I said, you can find this on his website and print it out for yourself. 45. Mr. Melendez has suffered actual damages while residing in California as a result of SiriusXM's deliberate use of his identity, likeness, name, image, and voice. Well, that's the thing you got to prove, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't explain what those damages are or how they occurred. He has suffered actual damages. And the word actual kind of makes it seem like you don't even believe yourself.
Brain damages from people throwing shit at him. They're like, they're Stuttering John, fuck you.
Who's he going to sue next? Coors Light?
Yeah, right.
Some actual damages. SiriusXM has engaged in deliberate, outrageous conduct carried on with willful and conscious disregard of Mr. Melendez right. That's a repeat from something earlier. All right, so this is what he's asking for. You ready?
Oh, boy.
This is the exciting conclusion, I believe.
This is going to be good.
Okay. An award of all recoverable, compensatory, statutory, punitive, and other damages sustained by Mr. Melendez, as well as equitable relief, including disgorgement of profits earned as a result of the illegal exploitation of his celebrity, and an order permanently enjoining SiriusXM from continuing the improper acts identified herein. He has no idea what he's suing for. It's like, you guys figure it out. How much money did you make off? No! How much money did you guys make off me? They're like, none.
Yeah.
We've made no money off of you. If we took off all of the bits that you were on, we wouldn't have any change in subscribers or advertising revenue.
Wow.
And as John would say, and that's a fact check.
Don't ask a judge or Sirius to say how much your contributions are worth, because they're going to say
Zero.
Not a whole fucking lot.
He has no case. The only thing in there is that he suffered actual damages. What? What are they? Doesn't say. Well, what do you want for that? Well, whatever you made off of it.
Yeah.
We made nothing. Case closed. Like, what are we talking about? He's made no case here at all.
Yeah.
His only case is 5 million impressions on Twitter and the stock price soar when there was news that Howard Stern might resign. That's his only case. Unbelievable.
He's such a desperate loser.
Oh my gosh. What's so funny is on Sunday's show, people started trolling him and he lost his mind.
I love it.
Now, as you know, and I played it on the show last week when Croge was here, Anthony Cumia had Bob Levy on and they were talking about this ridiculous lawsuit and goofing on him a little bit. So people started trolling him just to get him going.
Now, Walker Paulson, if this is true, you say Anthony Cumia completely destroyed me. And am I chicken to respond to his comments? I'll do you do me a favor, Walker. Tell me what he said, okay? Just tell me what he said, because you know what? I'm always nice to Anthony, but either you're trying to stir some crap, or he destroyed me. Which is it? Tell me if he said anything.
So he's starting to get fired up. Now, he just said right there, either you're lying to get me fired up, or it really happened. Which is it? He asked the guy who's trying to get him fired up. It's fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're right, you moron. And he did shit on you.
Well, let me play real quick. I think I played this on the show. I can't remember if I did or not. But this is Anthony Cumia kind of goofing on John.
There are certain people that will never make it, regardless of giving them or they will always be pathetic wastes of life. Did you hear Stuttering John is suing SiriusXM Satellite Radio?
Phenomenal. Yeah. So
I did hear him on Chip. They were like coming up with they were talking about a horse that runs in the mud, being known as a mudder. And they were just like, what do you call this? And it was just shit that rhymes with mudder. And Anthony was like, what do you call a loser that hasn't done anything in 20 years from the Howard Stern show? A stutter.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't think you have a friend over there, Anthony Cumia.
So obviously, Stuttering John is bragging about how popular his show is, how many people watch it and listen to it. And the people who are watching it, listening to it, are trolling him.
And you guys let me know what Anthony Cumia said. I don't have time to watch his podcast, nor do I want to. Just let me know if it's true. I know he has that Carl guy on.
Me?
From who are these?
It's podcasts.
Okay, so Todd Bloodworth. He said I was retarded, which I don't even know. That's not a word we should be using.
Okay. He's worried about this PCP brain. He's worried about using the R word. Yeah. Whoa. Let's not use language like that.
My super chat is being flooded with links to all the clips of him calling me an asshole.
Well, then they make up, because they know what triggers John is talking about his kids. We've seen this. This has been well documented. So these guys know that, and they decide, let's go get him. And they say that Ant was trashing his kids.
No.
I just did the thing that I was making fun of. I just set up exactly what you're about to do.
It's fine.
Oh, he also trashed my kids? All right, you let me know, Todd, if that's true. If you trash my kids, I got a big problem. Okay, Anthony? You trash my fucking kids, then we got a fucking problem, Cumia. Okay? It's that simple.
So I don't want to sit here and say that Stuttering John is on illegal substances or he's doing things that he shouldn't be doing, because I don't know. I don't know the guy. He introduced his guests. Now, his guest happened to work in the intelligence community, and of course, it's another political pundit who wants to come on and talk about Donald Trump. That's what his show is now.
Right.
But this guy also plays the bass, and he's got a fretless bass in his lap, and he's ready to fucking, let's talk politics, let's talk guitars, whatever. He's ready to have some fun.
How fucking lame.
This is, he's a tool. This is the funniest guest introduction you'll ever hear. It is over 2 minutes before the guy even gets a word in. Stuttering John brings his guest on. Now, this is a video, so you see this guy's face. Stuttering John brings his guest on and then goes off on a fucking tear. And this is what I mean. Like, this is not someone who's sober would act like this. This is fucking rage. This is coke-fueled rage, you might call it. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what kind of rage it is? But feel free to talk to this. It's long.
Okay.
It's just hysterical.
All right. Sorry, Eric. Come on in. Eric Garland, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Sorry, Eric. I'm getting some bad news hearing that my friends are trashing me. It's so weird, Eric. I don't sit here I don't trash any of these guys.
What?
Yet, I have these podcasts, that trash me. It's why? What did I do to these people?
He just brought a guest on.
Yeah.
And he's like, Eric, by the way, I'm getting trashed by these people. And then he's trying
You
to
want to
figure out.
ask your guest a question, maybe?
Now he's trying to figure out why they would trash him. He's done nothing wrong.
Did I trash their kids? Did I try to get them fired from their place of employment?
Yes! You literally said that my business partner should find out that I'm spending company time trashing you. And he should deal with that. Yes! The answer is yes.
No. But then I don't know if these people are trying to get me all pissed off, Eric. I don't know. Sometimes you do have people try to do that. But why?
Because it's hilarious.
What would be the reason? I'm 3,000 miles away from you idiots. What's the reason? What have I done to you?
Put out a
What?
shitty podcast
Tell me
on
what
the
I have
regular.
done to you to deserve you to be trashing me. Have I complimented you on this podcast? Have I had Bill Schultz and said, hey, say hi to Anthony? Have I talked to Keith Maresca? Hey, say hi to Anthony. Yeah, that's who I am.
So
Will
he's
I
mad
go
at
on my
Anthony.
show and trash you, Anthony? No. Have we had a Twitter war in the past? Yes.
Yeah, this is all about Anthony now because the guy said Anthony was talking about your kids. So he's all fired up about this. His guest, it's time for his guest to come on, and he's still fired up, so he's still just fucking railing about this.
I wish the guest would just start playing the bass.
But I thought bygones were bygones. We both apologized. I came on your show, and it was over. And now you decide to trash me again.
By the way, he doesn't know if any of this is true.
Yeah.
He's going up on this rage because somebody in the chat was like, Anthony's talking shit about you. He was!
So was this in the same episode,
Yes.
leading up to introducing the guest? And then he just can't let it go.
Yeah, this is all, it's pretty much the same segments that I'm playing here.
If I was the guest, I would have just fucking left.
I would have too. I'd be like, all right, you got something going on. That's fine, man. I'll talk to you later. It's insane.
You're a phony, Cumbia. You're a fucking phony.
Oh, he's fired up now.
I'll see you next time I'm in New York. We'll have a little conversation, Anthony, okay? and that's if this is true. When I come to New York, you and I will have a face-to-face, okay? Don't bring your gun. Because we know you can't find it sometimes. A little dangerous, if you ask me.
That's a shot at Anthony. There was a famous video.
All right, sorry, Eric.
Sorry, Eric.
That's amazing.
He just broke out of this.
I start this podcast, and then
Did you hear that? I'm going to back it up a little bit. When he realizes that he's been on this psychotic rant, and then he breaks out of it and apologizes to the guest.
All right, sorry, Eric. That's amazing. I start this podcast, and then I just get like, hey, this guy's trashing you, this guy's trashing you. Brian Callen, I never worked with a guy named Brian Callen, Todd. I think people are just trying to get me pissed off. Who knows, Eric? I have no idea. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if they're trying to get me angry. People like to see when I get angry. I have no idea. But we have bigger things to talk about.
Dude, 3 minutes after he introduced the guy, he's still ranting like a lunatic. The guy's just staring.
A fucking word in edgewise.
The guy's trying to have fun. It's a Sunday afternoon. He's got his bass on his lap. Like, yeah, it's going to be fun going to Stuttering John show. And the guy's just like, I'll see you in New York. It's like a fucking wrestling promo.
Yeah.
By the way, if this continues, he doesn't get straight.
But that takes a special kind of creep to go after somebody's children. Special kind of creep. So, you know, and you know, I don't take that lightly. I don't. You know? And it shows what a soul the guy has.
This is a political show.
That attacks young children, teenagers. Anyway, let's get on to the show. I have a lot of things to talk to you about.
All right.
All right.
I guess like, okay, finally. So now we're like 40 minutes into their conversation, and he gets distracted by the chat again. I'm telling you, John, this is not a good show format for you. You should not be interacting with the trolls.
No.
You're really bad at it. They set you off. They trigger you all over the place. This is great. The guest has to tell the host how to stay on track.
These people, J.R. Carr, have you apologized to Angela Belcamini for creeping on her? I ain't creeping on her at all. Watch. Yeah, people just trying to stir up crap, Eric. Who even knows if Anthony said anything? They're just trying to get me all riled up. But
let's focus on the post office. We are almost there.
Yeah, I know, but these people, right? I mean, I didn't creep on her. Anyway, she's like a kid. But anyway.
He can't stop himself. I think he's got to be on something, right?
Probably. I mean,
he's got mental problems for sure, but that's acting very weird.
Six pack of Coors Light down,
Yeah.
and then something else. But
he's on something else because that's odd behavior for someone who's live on the internet.
If you're having a guest on, you can't be looking at
That'd be rude.
chat feed.
That'd be rude if you were just had someone over to your house to hang out.
Yeah.
Let alone interview on a show.
Right.
If you came over and I'm just like, these fucking assholes, Andy.
I know.
This guy just tweeted me. He's a fucking cocksucker.
Yeah.
He'd be like, I guess I'll go. I'll see myself out.
Yeah.
The fuck?
There's no way to keep a show on track.
And of course, this guy is the worst at segues. He has these people on who are political pundits who are trying to make a name for themselves. This guy was in the, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
This guy was in an intelligence agency, and he has to ask if he smokes weed.
Yeah.
So first of all, Eric, are you a weed smoker?
I am not.
How could you be a musician and not be a weed smoker? Come on.
Well, I worked in the intelligence world. Remember that, and in D.C.
Yeah, Jen, remember you actually have like Sirius guests on? We're trying to take down the dotard known as Donald Trump. Remember the whole mission? Yeah, but hold on a second. Let's talk about speedweed.
Yeah, I gotta promote my speedweed.
And then they just start taking questions from people in the chat.
Another record. Trucker Andy, have you guys heard of the band The Isotopes? Have you, Eric?
Nope.
No, I haven't either.
Why would you?
Oh, you guys gotta check out the Isotopes. Trucker Andy, great question.
Yeah.
Trucker Andy's very involved in this.
Sweet.
And then I guess he gets a little bit racist. And then he gets kicked out.
On brand.
Okay, Trucker Andy, I've liked you up until now. Thank you for the super chat, but I'm not going to make racist. I'm not going to read anything that's racist, okay?
So Trucker Andy's giving him money, and he's like, okay, I think this guy's trolling me. Trucker Andy is definitely one of your trolls. Yeah. I love when he's confused by people's names that are in his chat room, like Vic's Japanese stepfather.
Yeah,
Mark P is here, Vic's Japanese stepfather. One day explain to me what the hell that name means.
And then he thinks I'm in there. And Croach pointed this out.
So ridiculous.
Like, everyone's name in there is something ridiculous, but he thinks Carl is me.
Yeah.
You don't think somebody just came up with the name Carl
I know.
on YouTube?
There's never been one instance of a person putting their real username in a fucking internet feed.
I know. It's so ridiculous. But, of course, he starts arguing with who he thinks is Carl. And I guess the person pretending to be me says, hey, John, can I come on your show sometime? So let's find out the answer, shall we?
Yeah.
Carl, I'll tell you what. Become somebody. Do something other than talking about me, and then I'll have you on the show. Do something productive in your life. Do something like trying to take down the dotard known as Donald Trump.
Oh, that's productive.
Go on stage and try and tell jokes and be a stand-up comedian. Do something constructive with your life. Instead of basing your whole life on...
Can I just point this out? In his world, being constructive are the two things that he does. Why aren't you a stand-up comic or a guy who bashes Trump? That's how you live a good life. There's other things you can do, John.
Negativity and taking down...
Oh, I got to back that up.
Do that.
He's concerned that I'm focused on negativity.
With your life. Instead of basing your whole life on negativity and taking down the success of others.
I think he realized as he was saying that, he's like, oh, that's the only thing my show is now, is trying to take down Donald Trump and take down his success. He's like, why are you doing a show where you're just trying to take down other people and just...
When you do that...
Your negativity.
Then
How about the president?
you might be able to become a guest on this #1 podcast.
#1.
With over 1 million downloads just in the last 3 months. Yeah. Okay. When you have an audience like
after
mine,
that one.
Carla,
#1,000.
then maybe will I even consider having you on my podcast. Okay? When you have a fan base as big as mine, when you prank call a president.
These are the things that I have to do to get a spot on his show.
Yeah.
I have to get a fan base as big as his. Unfortunately, our listeners enjoy the show, so I don't know what it's like to have a bunch of fucking hate listeners.
A president.
Yeah, he's gonna prank call president.
A terrible
Get them
company.
to
We can
call
do
you
that
from
today.
Air Force One. When you make news on a regular basis like me.
Regular?
I know.
Put it this way, Carla. I have made news, more news in the last 2 months than you've made in your entire life.
Can I just point out, he thinks I asked if I could be on his show.
Yeah.
This is his response. How? This guy's a maniac.
He's a maniac.
Like, wouldn't the response be like, Carl, I have no time for you? Instead, he's explaining all the reasons why he doesn't want to have me on the show, and they're all nonsensical.
From James Carville to me trolling Donald Dickhead Jr., Raw Story. I have made more news from my Donald Trump phone call than you have ever made. So when you make that kind of news, then and only then will I consider having you a guest. Because right now, you're a loser. A loser. You're a nobody.
Anyone else see the irony in him going off on over 2 minutes about what a loser I am? Dude, you're a loser. Yeah. If you wanted to come on my show, I'd either say yes or no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go through a whole diatribe.
I know. I just want to hear a little bass lick in there.
that guy's gone. By the way, this part that I'm playing for you now is after the guest leaves. He goes, all right, I'll answer some questions now because he's looking for super chats. Yeah. That whole portion is taken off of YouTube. I'm glad I downloaded this when I did.
Oh, really?
Because, yeah, I think he took all of this down. He's probably blackout drunk at this point.
Oh, God, yeah, no doubt.
Apparently I call him a bad father.
Yeah.
How do you know he's responding to this shit?
Oh, Carl. Oh, Carla, I'm a terrible father. Yeah? Well, that's weird. I just visited my kids. What was it, yesterday, 2 days ago? We had a great time. I visit my kids all the time, talk to them on the phone all the time. Great relationship with my 3 kids, all honor students. Yeah, all get scholarships. All,
yeah, right.
All,
come on.
All brainiacs.
Bullshit.
We have great relationships. I love my kids. I was the best father, you idiot.
This guy is triggered so hard when you talk about his kids.
That's understandable,
but why would you even respond to that? Right, why even acknowledge it? I'm saying he's a bad father, he thinks. Yeah. Why would he even respond to that, even if it was me and it wasn't?
How does he not understand that people are just fucking with him?
How does he not understand? That's what I mean. He's got to be on something. No one's that stupid.
Yeah. Apparently.
And then he realizes, he finally triggers in his head. He's like, oh, I don't need to be doing this.
But I don't have to defend myself, you idiot.
No, you don't. You don't have to defend yourself. But he continues to defend himself. And this is how he proves he's a great father.
Thank you, Sierra Mist. I'm a great dad. Thank you. You ask any of my kids. Any of them. I could show you my Father's Day cards.
That's the one time you have to give a card to your dad, and it's written for you. This one says I'm the number one dad. Holy shit! You should see my mug collection. I'm also a great uncle.
Got the evidence that I'm a great dad.
Father's Day cards.
Fucking A.
Wow. This shit, I couldn't write this shit. If I was trying to write the worst podcaster having a debate with his fucking chat room, I couldn't write this.
Has any dad ever gotten anything worthwhile on Father's Day ever? It's always like terrible ties and fucking macaroni cards and like shit. You're just like, thanks, right in the garbage.
I can show you the macaroni card that I got. And John gets asked the question, you ever going to put your stand-up online? And
please do it. Oh my God.
This guy still thinks he's a celebrity and still thinks he has something going on.
But I don't like to put my stuff online because then, because then people know your bits. But I will if I'm offered a special from like a Netflix or Amazon Prime.
Offered a special on Netflix?
Oh my God.
Stuttering John. It'd be amazing if that happened.
Yeah. I mean, they're just giving them away. Rob Schneider's got one. Nobody will ever watch.
Rob Schneider is a famous comedian. Stuttering John is Stuttering John.
Right.
He was a stunt boy for Howard Stern.
Yeah.
He was just the guy they made do the ridiculous shit that nobody else wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And they wrote it for him. They told him what to do. Don't fuck this up, John. Read the questions off the card.
And he routinely fucked it up.
Always fucked it up, but that's what stunt boys do, because then they can make fun of him when he brings back the tape. That's all he ever was a stunt boy. Pretends that he was a writer. Which jokes did you write? Well, I actually didn't. I mean, there were lots of writers.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
When Billy Crystal called me an asshole, I said something, and I came up with that, so I wrote it.
All right, so this is...
Fucking idiot.
He's realizing now, he comes back on his next episode, and the one after this. This is from last Sunday. He comes back Tuesday, and he realizes that he let the trolls get to him a little bit.
You think?
Yeah, I think he's feeling kind of bad about it.
Couple things I want to clear up. Of course, you trolls got into my head while I was doing a podcast on Sunday and started saying that Anthony Cumia was trashing my kids while Bob Levy was there. I kept texting Bob. He didn't text me back, so it was fishy.
I think he was talking about my kids because Bob Levy won't return my text. Well, it turns out he doesn't have Bob Levy's phone number.
Finally, I DM'd Bob, and Bob said that he changed his number, so he wasn't getting any of my texts.
He didn't want to get them.
It turns out Bob said Anthony did not trash my kids. Yeah, he trashed me a little bit about my lawsuit. So I take everything back.
I take everything back. What a fucking idiot. After all of that, it turns out I was just reacting to people making shit up, and I probably should have done that. Oops, my bad. Wow. He does still have a problem with Anthony Cumia for one specific reason, though.
This is what happens. People get me riled up with BS. So I take it back, Anthony. I don't really like that you have that Carl dude on to trash me all the time. And I know you like to take pot shots at me, but that's fine. That's fair game. As long as you stay away from the kids, go do whatever you want to do.
Noted. Ooh.
Isn't that funny that even both times he brought up Anthony Cumia, the problem he has is that I've been on Anthony Cumia's show.
Yeah. And he hasn't, right?
Well, yeah, sure. I have a better chance to get on Cumia's show than
call me when you're break call a president.
All right.
Wow, that was great.
So Anthony was goofing on the lawsuit.
Yeah.
And
everyone is.
Everyone is. I make news. Yeah, because we're making fun of you. That's the news story. You're an idiot. And this is him explaining how legit his lawsuit is.
Because it's not stupid. It's not stupid at all. In fact, it's a legitimate lawsuit.
If you have to say my lawsuit is not stupid, it's not stupid at all. Actually, it's legitimate. It's probably not a good lawsuit.
Yeah.
Someone with a real lawsuit doesn't have to say, it's not stupid. I got a lawsuit. It's not stupid. I mean, it's obviously not stupid.
How long has he not been on the show?
How long has who not been on the show?
John not been on Stern.
Oh, he left in 2004.
Okay, and how long has he been? Like they've been a? It's here. I mean, it doesn't matter.
He left a year before Sirius.
He's trying to get like 30,000, whatever his annual salary it was, $32,000. annually
Yeah.
for the years between then.
I don't know
and
if that's what he's
now.
looking for. I don't know what he's looking for. He doesn't explain it very well.
Yeah. Well, right.
I have no idea. He wants them to prove how much money he's made for them, and then he wants that money.
But I mean,
it's not never going to happen.
That's all he's owed, and it can't even total. It's not even $2 million, probably, right?
Oh my God! I was watching him.
Like, what does he want?
I was watching him on Radio Gunk with Monique.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were on live
He was
yesterday.
on?
Yeah, Stuttering John was on with Monique yesterday.
Really?
So I was watching that for a minute, and it was so funny because there's people chatting in there. I was chatting in there a little bit. It was actually Carl. It was actually me in that one. I was just writing Glory Days.
That was like a poker bluff, but it was real. You know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So somebody in there writes a question, and Monique goes, "Oh, that's a good question." So she asks John. She goes, "Are you concerned if the lawsuit is deemed frivolous that you'll have to pay the court fees of the other side?" Long pause, and then he goes, "No."
Yeah.
I don't think it occurred to him.
No.
I think that was the first time he heard about that.
Getting counter-sued.
I bet he's shitting his pants like, "Oh, they can do that?"
Yeah.
Because in California, that's something that they can do.
Counter-sue, yeah. It's not a fucking secret.
Oh, my God. It's so fucking funny.
Give shit.
This is just a funny thing that he said. When he's always begging people to give him money, and he doesn't understand what Patreon is. You guys know what Patreon is, right?
Well, he doesn't because nobody would ever fucking join his.
Right. So this is what he says.
You know what? If you want to donate, you donate to the podcast through my Patreon, which is PayPal.
Through the Patreon, which is PayPal. No! PayPal is very different than Patreon. You don't have a Patreon. You're asking for PayPal donations.
I don't want to donate. Thank you.
I just have one last clip that I want to play of Stuttering John. He finally says something funny. And it's been a very long time, and it's well documented. This guy is not a funny person. No. But he says something that really had me in stitches. Get ready to hold your sides, everybody.
You don't have to believe in anything else. I don't, I know that my lawsuit is sound.
Home run, Comey, a home run.
Based on factual information.
That doesn't make any sense, Rick.
Oh, even Patrick Hines is laughing at that one. Wow. How did that happen?
It's so insane.
Oh, my gosh.
That he actually has a case.
I'm sorry that was so long, but Stuttering John just never ceases to provide amazing content.
It's an epic saga.
I really
not
do.
Even remotely close to being done.
Oh, I know. I love it so much. Apparently, I'm looking at the Discord a little bit here and there. Apparently, he went on live today, which he doesn't normally do. He had his attorney on.
That's you.
Still
you
be
know,
live now.
Oh,
So that'll be interesting to see.
let's go live
It'll be interesting to see what his attorney has to say
to Stuttering John's lawyer
about this. We should have potted that up. Shit.
You should have dropped in the
I should have
big gay L clip.
Super. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see what his attorney has to say about that.
I don't know. I can't even.
I know,
can't wrap
it's
my
shocking.
brain around
I
it.
can't either.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe his meltdown.
Like, what?
We're watching it in real time, and it's fascinating.
Why don't his kids who love him so much tell him that?
Yeah, Dad, get off the internet.
Yeah.
Dad, just spend a week off the internet. Speedweed won't care. Speedweed will be fine if you don't
Reading
advertise.
the chat is insane.
It's so stupid.